Hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Sandeep Mehra with my enrollment number 26394 and I am pleased to share with you an overview of my ISTD internship project. The project name being designing a medico-marketing training session for the launch of a new pharmaceutical brand, INTRICH hair regrowth therapy. In fact, this INTRICH was a new brand that we launched in our organization. And for the launch purpose only, I had designed this training session for my medical representatives. So going to the next slide, as every training session or every project has some objectives. For my session, I had two objectives. First objective was design based. Design based means I can say what is going to be the content for my training session, what type of content, and how this content is going to impact the behavior of my trainees. So, on the basis of that only, I had some behavioral based objectives also. Now, going to design based objectives, the first objective of my design was simplifying scientific concepts, as it was primarily a science based presentation. It was very much required that scientific concepts which are present in the presentation should be presented in a very simplified manner so that all medical representatives which are from diverse fields, not only from science, they can easily understand the entire content. So simplifying scientific concepts was the first objective, and the purpose was a clear understanding of the subject can be derived for all the trainees. Second, I was very much concerned that in my design, it is only the relevant knowledge that is presented, not an in-depth information, because that is not very much required also in practical version when we are meeting the doctors. So when we are going to have a relevant knowledge, our trainees can answer customer queries very easily. They can also communicate the brand benefits. Third design-based objective was merging science with creativity. For any science-based project, I always believe if there is some sort of creativity involved, where science can be merged with creativity, it becomes easier for the trainees to understand that, and they have some sort of interest also in that presentation. So merging science with creativity, and along with that, creating a memorable learning experience for my trainees. So these were the two design-based objectives, and the purpose of both these objectives was first to help them gain confidence in our brand, our new launch, and an easy recall of different brand concepts. You see, when there is a learning experience which remains memorable, it is very much going to give them a easy recall of brand concepts. And obviously, when brand concepts are very clear, the confidence of in brand is also going to be there. Now, coming to the methodology, what methodology I adopted. So I took help of three methodologies. The first one was the Eddy's principles, then Gagne's 9 events of instruction, and along with that, combining these two under the umbrella of adult learning principles. So if I talk about Eddy's, so Eddy's provided me the structural framework right from analysis phase to evaluation phase. I used all these phases for my presentation for designing purpose. Then if I talk about Gagne's 9 events, so my entire content was designed using the Gagne's 9 events, whether you say it is gaining the attention in form of an icebreaker or taking assessments or different type of activities for recalling different concepts and even giving the feedback to the trainees and helping them learning guidance, giving them guidance how they should learn them or different type of acronyms I used. So the entire content that was designed, it was primarily using the 9 events of instruction as per Gagnes. So it was really very helpful. And along with these two, the adult learning principle was the guiding framework for me, where I took broad guiding in directions from these adult learning principles because all the trainees were usually adults. And if I summarize the methodology, this methodology helped me in identifying trainees' needs, designing a learner-centered content, and delivering a training program that aligns with how adults usually learn. And this approach helped me that training was not only effective, but it was engaging also. So this was all about methodology. Well, if we come to analysis of data and results in the project, we had two surveys. Survey TD1 that was primarily focusing on the opinion of supervisors of our frontline staff. And in this survey, we had five parameters. First one was current KSAs, knowledge, skill, and attitudes of our frontline staff, where their superiors had an opinion that majority of people had below average to poor scientific knowledge, and only very few had understanding of basic concepts. So on the basis of that, the training focus, what we finalized should be basic knowledge followed by skill building because some of them had relatively good selling skills also. Then coming to the next parameter, what should be the key learning requirements in the training? So most of the people had an opinion that USP must be the focus, along with that relevant product knowledge and only brief about the disease. So accordingly, the training focus must be revolving around USPs that can directly boost the sales. Training tools that were preferred by the people or the supervisors of the frontline sales staff was FAQs, good examples, pre-training assignments, role plays, group activities, and pre and post assessments. And accordingly, we included these all in our training program. And coming to the next parameter, plan and sequence of sessions. In this, it was preferred that knowledge-based sessions should be during the pre-lunch time and activities-based sessions should be in the post-lunch time with a special slot for team queries. So accordingly, we planned it so that our program can have a better effectiveness as per the supervisors. And motivation to learn, another very important parameter, it was found that supervisors prefer that it should be activity oriented session. Frequent breaks must be there, and along with that, training agenda must be shared before the start of the session. So accordingly, we planned in this also. In the second survey, which was directly with the frontline sales staff, we tried to find out their learning style. And it was found that although most of the people had all the three, visual, auditory, as well as kinesthetic, but apart from that, most of them rated visually creative content as the best, and session with multiple activities was rated as highest. So accordingly, once again, our focus was to include all the three components in our training session. Now, moving to the key findings. The first key finding that we found that both these Gagne's 9 events and adult learning principle, they are really a practical approach to design any effective training program, especially for adults. So in this, if we see that uh, through my training design, I could find the recipe for designing an effective training program for adults. And in that, if I correlate gaining the attention that we could do through our icebreakers, especially the movie clip of Bala, then informing clear objectives that we also did through sharing the agenda with all the activities. And after that, forming a very relevant and practical content for the training program. And in this, we found that most of the learners got the interest and topics like causes of hair fall and different other therapies available that were also very relevant and practical. And now, if I talk about the fourth learning guidance that we provided at regular intervals, making it very simple and easy to understand in form of different hair loss patterns that we correlated with different real life images of the celebrities. Assessing the performance, if I talk about the assessing the performance, so that we did through timely improvement and changes through pre and post training assessment recap quizzes that we did, And after that, enhancing the transfer, retention and transfer of the content. For that, we made it that it should be very easy to remember. And in this, we tried to use acronyms like ACT, like Anna, Katna, Tutna, and then the images of the bald celebrities, dummy model of the hair, that is also there in the project. So these were used to enhance retention and transfer. So these were all the key findings that we found that can make a training session very interesting as well as very engaging for a training. Is apart from this, another important finding was experience and previous knowledge, that we used it very effectively by initiating different types of discussions. So it was primarily like learning with discussion. So where we could get the learner's interest in form of discussion on common baldness patterns, and all these were the key findings where we tried to see that the training session becomes more and more engaging for the people. So now coming to recommendations and suggestions. So as per this project for designing an effective training program, as per me, a trainer must focus on first learner's perspective. Learner's perspective either through undertaking TNI, different types of learning tools, KSAs, what are the level of KSAs as of present, learning styles of learners. Second, transfer of knowledge and skills using multiple tools of training as we used in this training program. Third, retention of learning, target retention of learning through different activity-based targets like learning with active participation, conducting different sort of engaging activities. Fourth, reinforce learning, reinforcement of learning through repeated sharing of the content either through WhatsApp mailers as a follow-up, Q&A session during the training program, repeated discussions on some of the important topics. Coming to fifth point, right use of icebreakers as we use here. So break the ice among the participants so that they can participate more right from the start. Sixth, formative assessments, because these type of formative assessments help you to identify what are the gaps, which people are usually the laggards, so that you can improve upon them and everybody is on the same field at the end of last summative assessment. And coming to the last point, seventh recommendation, build an engaging content. As I use a lot of movie clips, images, knowledge-based videos, activities, because these are the things that attract adult learners as of now. You cannot just a classroom lecture and think of an effective training program. So these are the things that I would recommend or suggest from this training program. So in the end, thank you for listening to this glimpse of my training program. Thank you so much. Thanks.